And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing.
No, bro, I know Crawford, and he's different. And see, the only thing different here is Canelo is not a bigger guy at that weight. He's not like he's standing 6'1", 6'2", like before.
Terence Crawford been amazing with everything that he's done, so.
Floyd Mayweather just dropped a bold warning for Canelo Alvarez after working with Terence Crawford. He straight up called Canelo easy work and reminded everyone he beat him when he was nearly 40 years old. Floyd didn't hold back. He's tired of people disrespecting American fighters and acting like Canelo is some unbeatable force. According to him, the hype doesn't match the reality.
You take a guy like Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live only on DAZN on June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Jeff Mayweather sees Terence Crawford as a once-in-a-type of fighter, a rare talent who can jump weight divisions and still dominate. Jeff says not many fighters could even think about moving up to face someone like Canelo, but Crawford can. His style, discipline, and ring IQ, according to Jeff, put him on another level in his eyes. Canelo may be powerful and experienced, but Crawford is more complete technically and mentally. Jeff believes Crawford won't just survive this fight, he'll outclass Canelo.
All right, Jeff, looks like we got a fight coming up in the fall here between Terence Crawford and Canelo. Fight that's been talked about a long time. Initial thoughts on the potential of this fight?
Great fight, two great fighters. I think that moving up 2 weight classes, it's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Shannon Briggs brought a real emotional touch. He's known Crawford since he was a kid, and watching him get ready for a mega fight like this hits home. Briggs truly believes Crawford isn't just going to win, he's going to stop Canelo. For him, this isn't just a fight. It's the payoff of a long journey, and he thinks it's all going to end with a huge statement win.
What did you make of all the pushing, the shoving, the build-up, the anticipation, the weight differences too?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience, great to see.
Last question for me then, how do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, drop, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, I think Crawford gonna have something for him.
Shannon, always good to see you, my friend.
You're the best, champ. Let's go, champ.
Bernstein breaks it down from an analyst's perspective. He points out that Crawford, moving up in weight, isn't as scary as people think. Canelo just isn't the explosive monster he used to be 5 years ago. Time, wear and tear, and tactical changes have taken a toll. Al believes that today's version of Canelo is beatable, and Crawford, with his elite technique, might be the one to finally prove it.
Weight for Crawford to go up to. He started below 147, obviously, as a fighter, so he's going pretty far up in weight. Now, Canelo himself was a 154-pounder, so, he went all the way up to 168, but there's a little difference there. And I think that that's a big issue. Now, whether that's enough to make it impossible for Crawford to win this fight, that remains to be seen. This is a different Canelo Alvarez. It's not the same one from 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, or even 3. So there's that. And then there's all the different eccentricities of each boxer. And for Crawford, he's not going to hurt Canelo. But almost nobody hurts Canelo. He's got a rock chin. But can Crawford, who isn't always a volume puncher, make sure that if he's being the boxer puncher, he throws enough punches to win every round? Right. That's important. Right. And for Canelo, if he doesn't hurt Terence Crawford, which he might, can he sustain in those later rounds where we've seen Canelo Alvarez from time to time just fade a little bit? Yeah. Crawford's a very good fighter into the later rounds. We saw him stop Porter, and we've seen him have other excellent performances. So, there's a lot of those questions swirling around. But right now, I don't know if I could pick either guy, really. I would have said Canelo Alvarez before.
Crawford's fighting style is all about finesse, precision, and adaptability. Whether he's fighting orthodox or southpaw, his control of distance and timing is next level. He breaks opponents down piece by piece, reading their habits and exploiting their mistakes. Against someone like Canelo, who's known for power and timing, Crawford's ability to avoid dumb exchanges and control the pace might just be his biggest weapon.
His style is based around being the bigger guy, being the stronger guy, but Crawford is a very cerebral, very technical boxer, and I think that's why I'd never really considered this before. But also, I didn't actually realize until I sat down properly and thought about this, just how much weight Crawford has been piling on when he gets into the ring after the weigh-in. And look, these are not numbers that are out of the ordinary, but he's obviously cutting himself down so much in camp from whatever his walking around weight is. And it must be muscle that he's taking off. And perhaps that's why he's only fighting once a year, because there will be some fat, of course there will be, but the dude is not overweight. The dude still looks pretty ripped from what I've seen when he's not in training camp. However, there's not that many photos of him with his top off when he's not actually in training camp. So it's really hard to tell what his body composition is when he's walking around at these big weights. But the fact is, his fight night weight was 169 let's just call it 170 pounds.
Going from 147 to 168 pounds is no small jump, but Crawford is doing it with purpose. There's debate on whether it's a 2 or 3 division leap. But either way, no fighter has ever become undisputed in 3 weight classes. Crawford wants to be the first, and it's not like he's just gaining weight, he's building his body for top-level performance. His conditioning is still elite. He's not bulking, he's leveling up.
69 let's just call it 170 pounds, which is huge, absolutely huge for a 154 pounder. Especially, it's just shocked me that he's come up from 135 and now he's still putting on that much weight. He's rehydrating that much at 154. And indeed, to bring us even closer to the modern day, the thing that was posted, and again, this is the second time we've seen this, is why I'm kind of thinking there's a bit of a theme here with Crawford posting his weight when he's not actually in full training camp. On February the 9th, 2025, he posted an Instagram story and he showed himself weighing 186 pounds on a gym scale. Now, that's so much bigger than I imagined Crawford would be. I never thought this guy would walk around at 186 pounds, which for anyone who needs the conversion is just over 84 kilograms. And now look, it's not an unthinkable weight for someone, but for someone who has fought as low as Crawford has, who is generally as lean and as in shape as Crawford is, that's a lot of weight. I've tried to find photos of Crawford from around that time, and I can't really dig anything out to show you what he was looking like at that weight. But that's pretty big. And there was a bit of a joke in the Piers Morgan interview I noticed and I clocked, where Piers asked him what he was weighing right now. He said, I weigh 155 pounds. And I just thought to myself, there's absolutely no chance. Why would he bulk up and then in the space of just over 4 months cut the best part of 31 pounds? Like, that makes no sense. So he was definitely joking about that, just like he was joking about only earning 10 million for this fight. So when he fights Canelo, he's going to be at the super middleweight limit, which is 168 pounds. So when you look at that, you sort of go, okay, that's an 18-pound weight cut, which is not bad at all. But 186 is his walking around weight. So what will his weight be that he actually cuts from to make 168?
David Benavidez isn't one to mince words. He flat out accused Canelo of using steroids, sparking a lot of controversy. David says there's no doubt in his mind, and that suspicion throws more shade on Canelo's physical dominance. Whether proven or not, these claims add fuel to the skepticism surrounding Canelo, especially now, as he ages and faces technically sharper fighters like Crawford.
Was 100% confident in himself. I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
During the face-off, Crawford didn't just stand his ground, he shoved Canelo. That push wasn't just physical, was psychological. Analysts like Showbiz, the adult, say it revealed a more savage side of Crawford. He's not just moving up in weight, he's moving up in mindset. He's out to mentally dominate before a single punch is thrown.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war room.
Antonio Tarver says, this fight isn't just about weight, it's about skill. He downplays Canelo's size advantage and says it'll come down to who brings the sharper toolbox. If the focused, aggressive Canelo, who beat Caleb Plant, shows up, it could be a real battle. But if we get the slower, more passive Canelo we've seen lately, Crawford's going to expose those gaps.
About this before, you know, Crawford and Canelo. Bud County. you know, you're a fighter who's moved up right in weight and won fights. Like, so what is it that, like, what questions in your mind as a smaller fighter moving up and in the ring are you trying to ask yourself in the ring? Like, what questions are you kind of like?
No, bro, I know Crawford, and he's different. And see, the only thing different here is Canelo is not a bigger guy at that weight. He's not like he's standing 6'1", 6'2", like Bivol or one of those guys. So on fight night, the size is not going to be the main thing, the most important thing. It's going to be skill set. And both of them coming with their skill set. But what I haven't seen lately is the opponents that Canelo is facing. Those guys aren't going to get him ready for a guy like Bo. So Canelo is going to have to go back to that grind and turn back the hands at times too. Because we show up like he did against Skull. He show up like he did against Benavidez, not Benavidez, but Berlanga. And the other guy, what's the other guy name? Munguia. Bro, those guys, he didn't have enough activity. The last time I saw Canelo that would beat, I think, this Crawford was Plant. Now that Canelo come cutting the ring off, throwing combination to the head and to the body, active, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. You know what I mean? And I still think I give Crawford a chance even then. So that's what type of talent I think Crawford is. He's definitely gonna have to get used to that power.
Marcus Brown shuts down the idea that Crawford's scared of Canelo's power. He says Crawford spars with bigger fighters all the time, guys with heavyweight size, so he's used to big shots. That kind of sparring matters, and Marcus believes it'll show in the ring. Crawford won't just survive, he'll stay calm and in control, even under fire.
Both of them, I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm going with Crawford. You know, typically fighters, you know, they don't want to say who they want to go for because, you know, they don't want to be biased. Yeah. And much respect to Canelo, but I'm going Bud.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, you're a guy that's moved up in weight, so you know exactly what it feels like to get hit by these bigger guys. Is that something that's gonna play in the back of his head? Like,
of course,
gotta watch out.
It is, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's not like he just been in there, got in there with somebody bigger than him. He's always probably been sparring with bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? It's that boxing IQ, which, you know, William Skull didn't put up no fight, but he showed somewhat of a blueprint to get this guy, you know, in a space where he's confused.
Yeah.
And he can't touch his target that's in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think Bud got that IQ.
Jose Benavidez keeps it simple and powerful. Crawford is a beast from one fighter to another. That's huge respect. No matter their past, Jose sees Crawford as the better warrior. He's confident Crawford is going to rise to the challenge and prove who the superior fighter really is.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? he got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, you know. There's a big weight difference, a big weight jump, you know, that could be a difference in the fight, you know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power, I'm a feel that size difference, you know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he can't really, he's testing himself. He's testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think nothing's gonna phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just got to go in there, just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a much bigger guys, you know? So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
One criticism that follows. Crawford is the claim he hasn't fought elite names. Even Canelo called him out on that. But Crawford didn't argue, he simply said Canelo would be his first elite opponent, and that's by choice. Crawford built his record patiently, and now he's ready for the biggest test. This fight isn't just about belts, it's about building a legacy.
This is why people are disliking Canelo. He's a 2-time undisputed champ, and people are quick to say he doesn't want to fight people, he's ducking people. He's only fighting easy fighters. That's the reason why he keeps winning. Well, let's look at his resume. 23-0, 22-0, 43-0, 35-1, 32-5, 42-1, 19-0, 21-0, 30-0. If these people were so easy, haven't they lost prior to fighting Canelo? When Canelo asked him, who have you fought? Crawford couldn't even name one person that was a great fighter. So why don't fans say that about Crawford? The truth is that when someone wins too much and they keep winning over and over again, that's when people want to see you lose. Why do you think they always bring up the Bivol fight? Do you realize that he moved up in weight to light heavyweight to fight their best champion? Canelo's fighting easy people. Well, it's different when you make it look easy. Canelo has been fighting all these people, and when he wins, he makes it look easy. And people are quick to judge and say, well, he's only fighting easy fighters. But you're not seeing him train. You don't know how many hours he's investing into his training daily. It's easy for you to say outside the ring. Do you realize before he became undisputed, every single person he had to beat had a world title? They had a title for a reason. So he was picking and choosing, I need to fight this champion and beat them all. But what are your honest thoughts? Do you truly believe Crawford has what it takes to finally dethrone Canelo? But don't forget to follow for more news and finance information. God bless.
Jim Gray, one of boxing's most respected broadcasters, gives a fair take. He praises Crawford's undefeated record and how he's dominated in every division he's touched. But at the same time, he gives props to Canelo as Mexico's greatest current fighter. For Jim, this is a true 52-50 matchup. Both guys are elite, and this fight will test their greatness like never before.
And Canelo and Crawford, who do you expect to be just a little greater on September 13th?
You know, it's so hard to tell, but the bigger man, I mean, I don't want to get hit by Canelo ever. And when you've weighed so much less, I mean, I don't know what Terence will come into the ring, but you know, he's coming up in weight significantly, and, you know, that seems to me would favor Canelo. By the other token, you know, Terence Crawford's been amazing with everything that he's done. So I can't pick a winner. If I did that, I'd just run into the casino right now and bet and wouldn't even look at the fight and then just go cash my ticket. But I don't know. When you start predicting these things, nobody knows. And anybody who tells you they know, they're just BSing you.
Do you consider Canelo even a little greater than Chavez, who you interviewed and covered?
I do.
Why is that?
It's harder to win now.
That wraps up today's intense breakdown of the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford clash. The stakes are high, the opinions are split, and the boxing world is watching closely. Make sure to stay connected for more expert analysis, behind-the-scenes coverage, and exclusive updates only here on Fightline. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment in the world of boxing. Until next time, keep your gloves up and your mind sharp. This is Fightline, signing off.